How's it going, guys? Welcome to another Quick Glimpse video session. This one comes courtesy of Shannon Harris. Shannon is a 2004 midget AA goalie for the Stony Creek Sabres. As we watch this video, the first thing that I noticed that jumped off the screen for me was Shannon's ability to stay in control and control the game. As we go through and you can see these kind of clips, Shannon does a very good job of controlling almost all of the rebounds. She also does a very good job of being patient. So when we talk about patience, I kind of break down three different types of patience. We have vertical patience, which is not dropping early. We have lateral patience, which means staying in position when moving laterally with the puck. And then we have hand patience. Specifically here, we're talking about Shannon's vertical patience, where she doesn't go down early. She is not a very big goalie. I'd say she's around 5'5", maybe 5'6", but she maximizes her ability to fill net because she's patient. We can also see in a lot of these clips is she has a good mix of using both RVHs and overlaps, and her timing on these is pretty good. So I like my goalies to kind of hold their feet as long as possible and kind of use a double stick length rule in terms of when to initiate a reverse, and you can see that Shannon does a good job of doing that. The other thing that Shannon does really well and shows in this video is she tracks pucks off of her body very well. So when she controls her rebounds, you don't see her lose the puck. You don't see her kind of head moving in the wrong direction. I know it's tough to see with this camera angle sometimes, but breaking this down, I was kind of trying to really find those details, and Shannon's ability to track rebounds off her body was really, really well done. Another strong point for me in Shannon's games is her depth control. Being a smaller goalie, sometimes the trend is to be over-aggressive and overplay situations, where I feel like Shannon has perfect depth in a lot of these plays, which allows her to beat passes on her feet and then use her rebound control to really control the pace in her end. So we're going to do a goal breakdown for Shannon here. So this one was a tricky one because when I first initially watched it, I thought one thing, but as I got deeper and I looked a little bit further, I kind of started to understand the situation behind the goal. So let's take a look at it here and see if you guys saw what I saw. We can see here that this play develops higher in the zone on the half wall. This player wins this puck battle and starts moving towards the middle of the ice. We have a pass option right here. As we move it forward, we can see right here Shannon is in pretty good position. She has a narrow base, and is using her narrow base to try and look and see this puck here. She's aware that there's a pass option here, so you can see in her depth that she's not overplaying this puck. When I first watched this goal, I was immediately thought Shannon should not have slid on this play, but this is why Shannon slid. So when we come to here, you can see this pass is now initiated right here. This puck is now on the player's stick. Shannon still has not initiated a lateral release, which is what I would have preferred to see her use here. If she uses a lateral release, when she gets to position with this player, who now has the puck here, she's now holding her edges, and she would have been able to push back and follow when this player cuts across. But what I think happened here is I think she lost sight of this pass momentarily, which caused her to be very late. So when this pass gets passed here, Shannon, for that split second, loses sight of the puck, which causes her on this pass to now be late. If we move it a little bit forward here, you can see it's already on that player's stick, and Shannon is now just initiating a slide across. Once Shannon loses sight of that pass and she's behind the play, she now has to click into kind of urgent mode, and this is the reason she slides. One thing about Shannon, and I know Shannon's game very well because I've worked with Shannon for a few years now, and I understand all the aspects and details of her game, is Shannon struggles with secondary pushes. So once Shannon commits to pushing this way and that player now commits to coming across, Shannon struggles with that ability to catch her edge and push back. It's not a skill-based problem. Shannon definitely has the edge work and the ability to use that motion. It's her process. So she struggles with the process of reading and reacting and initiating that second push. It's something that she's worked on and she's getting better with, but at this point it's still a little bit of a struggle for her, and it's a little bit of a weakness in her game that we are constantly addressing. The big breakdown on this goal was that Shannon slid, But the reason Shannon slid was right here where she gets a little bit lazy and lose sight of that puck. So there's a couple breakdowns on this goal that we need to address, but the underlying factor is that when this puck is out here, Shannon needs to do a better job of fighting through this single layer traffic to make sure that she doesn't lose this pass, which at the end of the day created the chaos which made her slide. So sometimes when you first take a look at a goal, you think it's obvious, but it might be a little bit deeper than you think. So make sure, goalies, that every time you give up a goal, take a look at the finer details of why the goal went in. It's not always as obvious as
Hey, how's it going, Jamie? Did you watch Shannon's quick glimpse video?
I did. I mean, like always, I thought you did a good job on it. One thing, I mean, I've skated with Shannon before, so I know her a bit as a goalie. She's super technically sound, but one thing I see is that sometimes she's so powerful in her movements that she often throws herself out of position. And that's what I noticed when we skate together in practice. But seeing her in a game, she was completely different. She was so controlled. Her movements were so precise. She's a really good goalie. And you were right. Like, she does this excellent job of tracking pucks off of her body and following her rebounds. It was really nice to see the goal breakdown. I give you a lot of credit on that because I saw that when I watched it, the first thing I thought was the same thing you thought. I was like, okay, well, she slid. But I didn't dive deep enough to find the why into what she slid. And not a lot of people are able to do that. So I give you a lot of credit. But that's definitely such a small little thing where if you look at the situation that, if you're sliding, for the most part, it means you're behind the play, depending on the situation, of course. But on a play like that, where the puck originates from so far out, you have to slide, it means you're behind. So for her, she was really narrow when she was trying to look around. And for whatever reason, that person the F1 made that pass to F2, and she just didn't see it, didn't follow along with her body. And, it cost her. And for a lesson out there for the goalies watching, when a player makes that pass cross ice or across the Royal Road or the midline, 9 times out of 10, that player's cutting back. Just know that player just wants to cut back because they think that that's where the sick goal is going to be, and that's where they're going to sell you. But so if you know that and you're aware of that in your mind, if you're ready for that push across, even if you mess up and you get caught in the slide, you'll probably still give yourself a fighting chance to make the save. But I thought it was a good breakdown, and I was really pleasantly surprised to see how controlled Shannon was in the game compared to sometimes when we do drills where we have to, scramble and stuff in practice.
Yeah, and the one thing on the cutting back across, when you beat that pass, you do have to play shot first. So if you beat it on your feet, it gives you the options to do a lot of things, whether it's a lateral release, get set, or if they cut back, like Jamie says, you can transition into a push backside.
Yeah, because you're already going in that direction. So if they continue to, in Shannon's situation, if that player continues, I believe did she catch forehand and went backhand, or she catch backhand?
She caught forehand, went backhand, so it would have been glove transition to blocker for Shannon.
Yeah, so if Shapur continued onto Shannon's glove side, she was already sliding that way, so that's it's not an easy save, but it's an easier save. And then she cuts back. If you're just aware of that, then you'll be easier to get your edge.
Yeah, I agree. If any goalies are looking for a quick glimpse, send them to us. Like and subscribe to us on YouTube, and you guys can email us a 3-minute clip. Do not make it a highlight reel, guys. We're getting a lot of highlight reels. I can't cut up a highlight reel.
I don't know what people want. We're trying to teach them, and they just send these saves where they're diving across the net. Like, yeah, cool, but like, show me some things where we can get better.
Yeah, it's a lot of highlight reels, a lot of backdoor saves. We are a country who is just fantastic making that backdoor save. So kudos to us.
Can't stop pucks coming to our glove, but backdoors, oh, we got them.
See you guys. That was a good one.